The Archbishop of Canterbury has spoken out against tyrannical and populist world leaders in a Christmas message likely to be seen partly as a rebuke against U.S. President Donald Trump. Justin Welby was preaching at Canterbury Cathedral at the same time as Pope Francis made a bleak criticism of Trump in his traditional Christmas address in St. Peter's Square in Vatican City. The pontiff made particular reference to the situation in the Middle East just 2 weeks after the U.S. president inflamed tensions in the region by controversially recognizing Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. In Canterbury, Welby told worshippers that much could be learned from the Nativity story, where Jesus is power seen in humility. He said, "In 2017, we have seen around the world tyrannical leaders that enslave their peoples, populist leaders that deceive them, corrupt leaders that rob them, even simply democratic, well-intentioned leaders of many parties and countries who are normal, fallible human beings." Earlier this year, Welby publicly spoke out against Trump over the president's sharing on social media videos from far-right group Britain First. He said at the time, "It is deeply disturbing that the President of the United States has chosen to amplify the voice of far-right extremists." In Rome, the Pope reinforced calls for a two-state solution to the decades-long conflict between Israel and the Palestinians just over 2 weeks after Trump stoked controversy by recognizing Jerusalem as Israel's capital. The move enraged Palestinians, who also want the city to be the capital of their future state. 4 days ago, more than 120 countries backed a UN resolution urging the U.S. to reverse its decision. Francis said the children of the Middle East continued to suffer because of growing tensions between Israelis and Palestinians. Appealing for peace specifically in Jerusalem and more widely in the Holy Land, the Pope said, "Let us pray that the will to resume dialogue may prevail between the parties and that a negotiated solution can finally be reached, one that would allow the peaceful coexistence of two states within mutually agreed and internationally recognized borders." He asked for God's support for all those in the international community inspired by goodwill to help that afflicted land to find, despite grave obstacles, the harmony, justice and security that it has long awaited. Francis began his Ut Bet Orbi to the city and the world address by appealing to Christians around the world to recognize Christ in the faces of little children in places of conflict and tension, as the winds of war are blowing in our world and an outdated model of development continues to produce human, societal and environmental decline. His traditional Christmas Day message listed many of the globe's most troubled places. He said, "We see Jesus in the faces of Syrian children still marked by the war that, in these years, has caused such bloodshed in that country. May beloved Syria at last recover respect for the dignity of every person through a shared commitment to rebuild the fabric of society, without regard for ethnic and religious membership." He spoke of the children of Iraq, that has experienced conflict for the past 15 years, and Yemen, where there is an ongoing conflict that has been largely forgotten, with serious humanitarian implications for its people, who suffer from hunger and the spread of diseases.